Good morning. We are back at it again. Got the usual 1XL, all the ice in the fridge. So, today I want to talk about how can you choose your niche? How can you niche down? I don't want it to be rude and say a for dummies guide, but essentially for newer businesses or those who don't have actually a lot of experience with niching down. So I'll share a few examples, a few things to look for, and then, yeah, let's go ahead and hop into it. Oh, man. So what is that first foot that gets me? So, we talk about niching down. I look for a few key pieces, right? So, I'll start with the 4 things that I usually look for when you're wanting to choose your initial niche, and I kind of help my clients through, or the advice that I give. The first piece is, do you have prior experience with the niche? So, if you don't, it can be quite an uphill battle when it comes to actually selling and learning the language they speak. And when I say language, I mean like the buzzwords they use and the style of communication they have, as well as like the actual selling style. What are their pains, what are their problems? So I always recommend going into a niche where you have prior experience, right? It doesn't have to be much, maybe a year of working in a certain industry, or it's a certain topic you're just really passionate about, you like learning about in your free time, your hobby. So that's the first piece. Where do you have prior experience? Now, the second aspect that I look for is, what are you passionate about? And this is really important because with your passion, you're able to really just like stand behind, what you're doing. You're able to stay at it for the long term. And there's a saying that I'll probably butcher, but it's like, the person who can run, the person who actually enjoys running will run longer than anybody else who's doing it, to be fit, right? So that can be very comparable to business. Like if you are passionate about weightlifting, you're going to be making content on weightlifting. You're going to love it. You're going to be putting more time, more energy into it. More often than not, it's actually going to be better content, right? More creative, because you actually love it. You're passionate about it, versus those who might just be doing it to make an income. So that's the second piece. Now, the third is the niche you're serving financially viable? So of course, college kids have plenty of issues. They're trying to find jobs. They're trying to maybe lose weight or work out, whatever that may be. But a common issue with them is that, they may not have quite a lot of money, right? So you want to make sure that the people you're actually serving can afford the services you're providing. And especially this is true, like if you're charging high ticket, right? More than $2,000 on a monthly basis for a retainer. You want to make sure that your audience actually can afford it and sees value in it. You gotta make sure Jolene stops. Hey, got Jolene here. Now the fourth and final piece that I usually look for is basically, is your niche accessible? So say for example, if you're trying to serve secret service agents and help them with their relationships, well, it's great, but first of all, there probably aren't that many secret service agents, and I can also imagine they might be a little bit difficult to get a hold of. So you want to make sure that there's a plentiful audience. You also want to make sure that who you're targeting is in a growing audience. You don't want to be targeting an audience of people that's shrinking, over time, because you want to be in your business for the long term. Okay, so those are the first 4 pieces that I look for when niching down. Now, I want to talk about 2 other aspects that I think are also really important. So I want you to start looking at yourself, and it's, how can you make yourself unique, right? How can you make the services you offer unique? How can you make your personality, your personal brand unique? And you can do this pretty naturally. So in my case, I'm here taking an ice bath. I care a lot about health and longevity. I've been talking more recently about getting more sunlight. We've been eating more natural foods, raw milk, going to the store, like just trying to eat a very holistic diet in that sense. Okay, so those are my interests health-wise. But then I also have interest business-wise, helping coaches, consultants that are high ticket and are serving other businesses basically achieve product market fit, right? I want to give them clarity in their actions so they know what to do every single day. And I want to help them basically have a clear path to get from stage 1 to closing clients, making consistently 10K months plus, okay? I want to make that simple. So that's also something I'm passionate about. As of recent, I've really been enjoying this sport called paddle. I talked about it before. Again, highly recommend y'all check it out. I'm trying to get as many people to play with as possible, I think is probably the best way for me to put it. But the more people that know about it, this awesome sport, the people behind it, I think the better. So I really enjoy that as well, right? And if I could think of one more thing, let's see here. Maybe some, I also like Legos too, right? So I like building more of the Technic sets, or like the sets that are like more of like a showpiece, so like Thor's hammer or like the Infinity Gauntlet, stuff like that. So I have all those 4 unique interests, right? So health, business, paddle, and Lego. I can be pretty sure that there aren't a lot of people who also have those interests similar to me. So when I talk about this in my content, I'm actually setting myself apart as somebody unique. And what's cool is that I can start to attract people from different audiences to my content and get them to start interacting and using my services, or talking about paddle, or talking about longevity. Because if we look at another example would be like Joe Rogan, right? I know Alex Hormozy uses this reference a lot, but it's like he's interested in aliens, in politics, in fighting, I guess in weightlifting to some degree. So his audience is made up of probably multiple different audiences that come together and view him because he's Joe Rogan, right? So I want you to also start looking at the areas of your life, like actually looking back, what am I interested in? What do I do for fun? If I find this fun and interesting, you can be pretty well sure that other people are going to find it fun and interesting as well, at least some part of your audience, and share about it. Like, just get out there and talk about what you're passionate about, what you like doing. And this is how I've been shifting my content recently. And I'm having a lot more fun. It's a lot more easy to consistently put out content. It's also unique, right? I'm sitting in an ice bath talking to y'all. So that's a really, really great way to actually go about it. And the last and final piece is what I'm going to leave y'all with before I do something a little bit special via the recommendation of some of my audience members. Is the last and final piece is you behind the camera, you watching me right now. You are your avatar. You are the avatar. The past version of yourself, 1 year ago, 2 years ago. You are the avatar. You are the person that you can actually help the most, your past self, right? So when you look at business, when you look at creating a service, when you look at creating something valuable for people, well, what did people use? What challenges did you go through in the past? What big things did you overcome? And then start to consider, how can I bundle up multiple problems that I used to face and multiple solutions into a service offering that is very valuable to my audience? You want to make sure your problems you're solving are valuable. So take that last piece for you. You are the avatar. What do you need? What would you want? What kind of services would you want? And on that note, let me go ahead, just a little bit crazy here. Okay. Wow. Okay. So, hope you all enjoyed that breakdown. Really just following those 3 core principles, focusing on those 4 aspects I talked about earlier. What intersections do you have in common? And then remembering that you actually are the avatar. I hope you all have a great rest of the day, and I will catch y'all in the next video. Take care.